Namaste everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Sachin Education Hub. Friends, today we are here to discuss about the standard setting procedure or the process that is followed by the IASB, which means you can say that what is the procedure or what are the steps followed by IASB for setting up the international financial reporting standards. We will focus on these steps today. So let us start with the first point. But before starting that point, a small information for every commerce subject student is that if any of the commerce student wants any commerce subject notes, then he or she can go to our Telegram channel and get free of cost notes of any subject. And the link of our Telegram channel is in the description box. Okay. So let us start with very first point, that is setting up agenda or setting the agenda. It means an international accounting standard board firstly identify the areas that is very necessary for the new as well as revised standards, and it is primarily based on the need of the investors that help him or that help them in getting the information or the getting the better information. Okay, and this phase is very much important for establishing a groundwork or the basis for the future development. Okay, so setting up agenda in very simple term, identifying the areas where the new as well as revised standards are very much needed, and that is primarily based on the need of the investors that help in getting the better information. Okay, so this is the first step. So now the second point is planning the project. Once the agenda is defined, the IASB plan for the execution and decides whether to undertake the project alone or in collaboration manner. And before that, IASB should be in mind about all the consideration and all the consideration that is related to the resource allocation and all the issues that is related to the implementation of the project in a very easy manner, because this phase also help in shaping out the project before the commencement. So this is a very crucial step in setting up the agenda. Okay, after that the third is an optional step. If IASB want to do, then it also beneficial for the IASB in setting up the agenda. So you can say that in certain cases IASB also undertake the research to gather out some information, and this information also help them to understand about the different perspectives on the chosen topic, and as a result it provides a basis for the informed decision making for the IASB. So you can say that if IASB is ready to do the research program, then it help them in informed decision making. Okay, and automatically it is very easy for the IASB to setting up the agenda after the research. And if you do the research step, then automatically you have to do the fourth step, that is developing and publishing a discussion paper. Before going for some important stage, a discussion paper is very important, and it is not mandatory, but it is not mandatory, but you can also use it as a stimulation for the public debate as well as gathering the initial feedback on the new standard. You can say that it is very important to get the feedback from all the users of the financial reporting, because all these new standards are preparing for that persons as well, right? And if you get feedback or the initial feedback on the new standard from that users, then it is a very much effective step to implement that standards, right? So if you follow the discussion paper or develop the discussion paper for stimulating the public debate or gathering the initial feedback from the users regarding the new standard, then it is very beneficial for the IASB in setting up the agenda. Okay, so this is not an option, it is an optional step, but if IASB is ready to do, then it is very beneficial. But now the another step is very much mandatory, which means developing and publishing an exposure draft. The fifth main step is developing and publishing an exposure draft. Here, the IASB draft a comprehensive outline about the exposure draft, which includes detailed explanation about the proposed requirements, measurement bases, and recognition criteria. And this draft is then provided for the public scrutiny, and as a result of this, it help or it enable the stakeholders to provide the input on this case. In a very easy manner, you can say that if you if you are preparing the exposure draft or developing or publishing the exposure draft, and very much important is, if you provide that exposure draft for the public scrutiny, then it enable the stakeholder to provide the input on these standards, and getting the input from the stakeholder on these standard help the IASB in setting up or implement these new standard or revised standards in a very easy manner. Okay, this is a fifth step. Now the sixth step is commenting period or the comment period. During the critical phase, stakeholders are invited to offer the feedback on the exposure draft, and the IASB allow for the specified comment period to ensure thorough considerations of the diverse perspective. Or you can say that IASB invite the public comment on these exposure draft, especially for the period of 120 days, because the stakeholders are invited for that feedback, and the feedback from that stakeholders in a 120 days is very much you can say that helpful for the IASB in implementing these standards in a very easy manner or in effective manner. Okay, now the another thing is redeliberations and finalization. And after the comment period, because if the positive comment is received, then it is okay. But if there is a negative comment, or you can say that in this stage IASB especially evaluate carefully the received feedback, and if the feedback is negative, then IASB in this case revise the draft, or you can say that change the draft, or focus on the negative points that required the revised changes in this draft. Okay, and this is the main thing. If done, then the next step is known as issuing the final standard. Redeliberation and finalization is just about review the comment, and if there is a negative comment, then change that exposure draft as soon as possible in this case. But after that, once the positive points have been received, or positive feedback have been received about the exposure draft, then the final thing is issuing the final standard. Because now the standard is done, everyone is ready to accept the standard. So once it is finalized, the IASB formally issues the new and revised IFRS standard, and along with an effective date for the implementation also, which is a very important in setting up the agenda. So you can say that once the positive feedback is received on the new standards, IASB finally issues the final standard and final IFRS in this case, and also include the effective date for the implementation of the new standard. Okay, so this is all about the setting standard procedure or the process by the IASB, that is International Accounting Standard Board. So this is just about the setting standard procedure. Okay, so hope you like that video and you understand it also. So this is all for today, and if you need any type of commerce subject note, then you can join our Telegram channel. The link of our Telegram channel is in the description box, right? And if you are new in the channel, then please subscribe to our channel and also press the bell icon for the regular updates. This is all for today. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.